Hi, welcome to the video. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and comment your thoughts and opinions on the stories. Let's get started. Am I the antagonist for being upset that my family didn't care that I graduated? So I, 21F, graduated from community college yesterday. I'm proud of myself because I struggled greatly with it due to mental health issues as well as my ADHD. It took me a little longer than community college probably should, but I finished it finally, and that's what matters. I also have a few cousins around my age, 22F twins, and another 22F that also graduated this weekend, but they went to bigger universities. I woke up to a bunch of Facebook posts by my family congratulating all of them and saying how proud they were of all of them for graduating. Of course I'm proud of them as well. I sent my congratulations to each of them individually. I however didn't get anything of the sorts, even though my family knew that I would be graduating as well, and it honestly hurt a bit. My family doesn't really view community college in the best light, so I'm sure that comes into play with everything. But I still feel like it's unfair that I didn't get any acknowledgements. I vented to my mom about it, and she just called me dramatic for wanting all that attention. But I feel like it's warranted at least a little bit. So, am I the antagonist for being upset that I didn't get any recognition for graduating, even though my cousins did? Edit. Thank you so much to everyone that is commenting. I truly appreciate it, y'all have made my day. Edit 2. I've seen people saying that it's most likely the difference in degrees, as my cousins got bachelors and I just got an associate's. I know getting bachelor degrees is more schooling and definitely more stressful, and I'm super happy for all of them for being able to achieve that. I know an associate's is just bottom of the barrel when it comes to college lol. I didn't really expect anything super fancy or cool for just getting an associate's, but nobody acknowledging it was just kinda IDK y'all. Now for the top comments. NTA, we are your family now, and we are so proud of you. Congrats. Thank you. 3. You've achieved a huge milestone and worked hard for it. You should be proud. Nobody can take away from what you've done. I wonder how she would feel if you didn't wish her a happy birthday. If she asks about it, just tell her to stop being so dramatic. I actually forgot her birthday one day a few years ago because I was working and she lost her shit. She's definitely more dramatic than me. Am I the antagonist for refusing to share a birthday party with my cousin? So birthdays aren't really a big deal to me anymore, but I do still enjoy the cake and presents, you know, and it's kinda a milestone for me. Anyways, I have a cousin who's turning 5 and I'm turning 18. I have never liked my extended family because they treated my late father and my whole family, even when he was alive and even more after, like trash. They always nitpicked anything my mom did or said and always tormented her. It led to a big fall in her self-esteem. It was depressing to watch over the years. My dad passed away almost 4 years ago, and the family ghosted us for like basically the whole time. I stopped talking to them after they held their own celebration for my late father and didn't invite us. LMAO. Anyways, these past couple months, they have been trying to reach back and get us to talk again. Some of my personal family is naive, but I know they are just not doing it with the right intentions. They basically called my mom to tell her that they wanted to do a birthday party for my 18th birthday and cousin's 5th. My mom and everybody was so confused as they never even got approval. They said they got decorations and everything. I said no, I don't want to do that. Their disrespect has been far too much, and that's so awkward with the age difference. No bad vibes to my little cousin, I love him, but I declined. My grandma called me saying to think about and that I was being harsh and should be more considerate. My extended family and aunt is mad at me now. Am I the antagonist? Edit. For all asking if we have more money than them. We used to not, but my mom found a well-off boyfriend and she herself a well-paying job. I wouldn't be surprised if they are expecting us to pay for something. My mom does makes cakes for a living, so it might be connected IDK. Thanks SM for all the advice though guys. Now for the top comments. NTA, why would you share your 18th birthday, which is also kind of a milestone age, with a 5-year kid? That's ridiculous. Extremely ridiculous. How is this supposed to work anyways? An 18-year-old and 5-year-old have completely different interests and friends. NTA. And happy birthday, Opus. Not the a-hole, of course not. Happy birthday. Am I the antagonist for physically removing my sisters from my room? I'm the oldest of 5. I'm 19 and my 2 sisters are 14 and 7. I just recently started a new job and finally have a bit of spending money for myself. I deal with low blood sugar on occasion, or I get very thirsty in the night, so about a month ago I bought a little cart to keep in the corner of my room and filled it with snacks, some drinks and other basic essentials, lotion, extra chapstick because I'm always losing mine, etc. My siblings are freaking vultures when it comes to food. Anytime there's some sort of snack they like, they will eat it back to back like chain smoking until it's gone. Then blame each other when there is no more. Hence another reason why my snack cart is in my room. I had just restocked the cart and was noticing things disappear from it that I knew I wasn't eating. Since it normally takes a while for me to make a dent in my stash, I confronted my siblings. My 2 brothers admitted and apologized, while my sisters claimed innocence. I let it go, but snacks were still coming up missing. I snooped in my sister's room and found Drappers bottles under their beds. I was irritated and wanted to catch them in the act, so next day I pretended to leave for work, snuck around through the back door, and waiting in my closet to catch them. It took a while and I almost gave up when I heard my door open and heard the older sister directing the younger sister on what snacks to take. I came out of my closet having caught them in the act, and frankly I was pissed. I yelled a bit and kicked them out. They tried to come back into the room to reason with me and wouldn't leave, so I used one of my giant stuffed animals to block them back outside the door. My baby sister got really upset and cried, while the older sister said I was being an ass over it. My mom ended up giving me shit about it, saying I needed to bring my snacks downstairs because anything food wise you bring into this house needs to be shared, which I find hypocritical given she keeps her favorite snacks in her room where my siblings can't find it. I feel bad for getting angry over something so trivial and childish. I'm the oldest and should be setting examples, yet here I'm mad over snacks. Am I the antagonist for yelling and kicking them out? Would I be the antagonist if I barred them from my room and locked the door when I leave the house? Edit semi-update. For everyone who had mentioned it, diabetes is common in my family. My brother is type 1 and my dad is type 2. I started dealing with low blood sugar shortly before my doctor told me I was high risk for diabetes as well. I try to keep healthy snacks or things high in sugar protein when I need it. Also I pay a decent amount of rent. I'm still trying to finish school and can't afford to live on my own. I have a lock on the door, but my siblings had taken the copy I'd given to my mom in event of emergencies. I'm going to change that lock again and have a serious talk with them later. Thank you guys. Now for the top comments. NTA. But by the time it got to trying to catch them, you should already have had a lock installed. Get a lockable unit to store your snacks and save up to move out. If they're yours and you pay for them, your parents are being ridiculous to suggest you've got to share them around, especially if they claim it doesn't apply to them. Hide em, lock em, whatever helps. Maybe even lock the bedroom door so nobody can enter. Tell your mom you'll share as soon as she does. Hypocrite. Not the a-hole. I'd tell the other kids that mom has snacks hidden in her room. Backquote, keep looking till you find them. They're there. NTA. Firstly, they are trespassing in your private space. That's a no-no. Secondly, you paid for it, not your parents. So why should your things be shared? Especially if they don't share their things. Thirdly, the children know they are wrong because they are sneaking around to do it while you are not there. If you can, get a lock for your door. Fourthly, Op is over 18 and a legal adult. Am I the antagonist for not wanting to help my sister through a tough time? I, 26F, am not close to my sister Ella, 23F. I'm not sure we were ever close, but our issues go all the way back to our childhood. She was always very demanding, expecting people to do stuff for her, crying about it when you didn't say yes, and making mistakes that she would blame others for and expect them to happily take the blame and pick up the slack on. I got in trouble because of her more than once. It actually made me pull away from my parents because they expected me to be a good big sister to her and take care of her. The relationship hit rock bottom when I was 17 and she was 14. She was an asshole to one of the girls in her math class, and when the girl told her siblings, they made sure my sister was excluded from stuff other kids were doing. She told them I wouldn't let them do that to me, but I did nothing to help her. I told her she was on her own. She was so mad at me for that. She blamed me for her being bullied. At that point she had done her own share of bullying of others and using others to protect her, that I figured she deserved to know what it was like on the other side. Plus she had turned the blame on me one of her previous times bullying. And you can imagine I was in shit until everyone realized it was her. Because I was 4 years older than the poor girl, she stopped expecting me to do stuff for her. Then when she was 17 she wanted out of our parents' house. She wanted to be able to party and skip school, and she wanted a cooler bedroom. So she asked to live with me. I was very quick with my no. She broke into the house I was renting, invited some of her friends over, and the house was messed up. I was 100% done with her after that. My ex-landlord had not been happy. My parents hated that I got the police involved. Now it's been several years since I have seen her. She was with a guy for most of the last 6 years and had 2 kids for him. He fucked her over in so many ways and left. She's jobless. 2 kids. Their father is Meyer and the courts are trying to track him down. She was living about 30 minutes from me and about 2 hours from our parents. I was asked to help her out, let her stay with me a while, or be a sister and support her. I ignored my parents. I essentially cut them off. I ignored my sister too. She asked me for my help. She told me she wants to do better and knows I would be able to help her better than our parents would. My aunt and grandma aren't happy that I've ignored her and I won't help. They have tried to use the fact we are sisters to spark some care in me, but the truth is I cannot stand her and I don't care about her enough to help her or her kids. They are not but strangers to me, and she's not someone I want in my life. Am I the antagonist though? I guess I have some small doubts about how I have handled this. Now for the top comments. Funny how your aunt, grandmother and parents aren't opening their doors. Stay firm. Enter. These stories always have a really loud group of family members / friends that are very generous with ops time / money / etc, but never really seem to want to contribute, other than generally being busybodies. Op is not the a-hole in this case. This NTA obviously she hasn't changed. She is still making entitled demands. NTA. If your grandmother and aunt are feeling that judgmental, perhaps find out if you provide transport, what time and date would they like your sister to be at their house. If you have grown up with a manipulating bully of a sister is understandable why you don't want to put yourself in the same situation again. And if you have not heard from her in over 6 years and no attempts have been made to heal that relationship, she does not want a sister to help her, but rather the closest person that she can use to get what she wants. Yes, it's sad for her kids that she managed to marry someone similar to her, but that is neither your responsibility or problem. NTA. Your family's favoritism of your sister has come back to them with major consequences. Your sister has never respected you or your boundaries, and you're trying to keep them for your mental health. Remind them of the time you had to call the police on her. That should be enough of a reason not to get involved with her again. If your family loves her so much, then why are they not helping her? Keep your distance from your family. Buy and install cameras for your home. Lock everything up. Am I the antagonist for asking my girlfriend to stop applying deodorant and perfume in the bedroom? My girlfriend wakes up at 7 to get ready for work, while I usually get up at 11. I'm a light sleeper, so whenever she gets up from the bed I'd wake up. I have no difficulties going back to sleep afterwards. Also, because of our conflicting work schedules, we rarely see each other during the weekdays, so it's actually nice to be able to talk every morning and wish each other a good day. The issue is that before leaving she'd apply deodorant and perfume in the bedroom. The smell is so strong that it makes impossible for me to go back to sleep, and by the time I reach the couch I'd already have lost sleep. I asked her if she could apply them outside, but she refused. She told me that it's her morning routine to do it in the room and I will get used to it pretty quickly. It's been 3 months now and I definitely haven't got used to it. Not even a little. I talked to her about it again yesterday and she pulled up an article saying that smell doesn't affect sleep. I took a look at it and I told her that's not what the article is saying. It said the while smell don't usually wake up people from sleep, it definitely affects it. In my case it makes it impossible for me to go to sleep. I told her I don't like it that instead of reaching a compromise together she is pulling up articles to tell me I'm wrong. I informed her that I will be sleeping in the couch during the weekdays. She replied that I was doing this to punish her because I know how much she enjoys kissing me on the forehead every time she wakes up. I told her that it had nothing to do with that. I just can't function with 5 hours of sleep and reminded her that it also affected me at my job significantly. She reluctantly agreed to apply them outside the bedroom, but she was visibly upset. I prepared a nice bubble bath for her with candles and made her dinner, and this morning I took her to a restaurant she liked for brunch. We had a good time, but I can clearly see that she's still a little bit upset, even though she's trying to hide it. Was I really wrong to ask her to stop? Because I'm starting to feel like an asshole, and I hate seeing her like this. Now for the top comments. NTA, but your girlfriend is a massive R, and I'm not sure why you're doing nice things for her when she won't do the bare minimum for you. Let's look at this objectively. You told her that something she was doing was objectively and measurably causing you harm. That the strong, lingering smell of her perfume and deodorant in the bedroom early in the morning was making it difficult for you to fall back asleep. There's literally no reason for you to have made this up. And from any reasonable viewpoint it's clearly the truth, because you have nothing to gain from lying about it. And yet she would literally rather go online and hunt down articles to invalidate what you are telling her that you are personally experiencing with hypothetical references to what normally happens, in general, to other people. Then take a few steps into another room to solve the problem. She turned an easily solvable issue of your actual physical discomfort into an excuse to argue with you, invalidate you, gaslight you, in the most literal sense, telling you that you're not experiencing something that you obviously are, and finally just tell you that she's not interested in changing something that is hurting you, and her only defense is the tautology that, well, but I need to do it this way because this is how I do it / this is my routine. And your response is to wonder if you're the asshole and then spoil her with bubble baths and special meals. I mean, you're not the a-hole, but wow, you're setting yourself up to be mistreated on an ongoing basis if you keep rewarding her for blowing off your discomfort. This is a ridiculously small compromise for her, whether there are articles or not. She's being completely unreasonable to not take your feelings into consideration on such a tiny, easily fixable problem. You're not an asshole. You've simply asked her to apply her smellers in a different room. That's all. I don't use sprays in the bedroom because the noise actually wakes my husband. It's a slight change to routine, not the a-hole. Heck, I switched brands of shampoo because it made my dog sneeze. You do things to help others in your home. Am I the antagonist for the amount I asked to perform at a birthday party? I, 24F, am a professional mermaid. It's an unusual job, I know, but I love it. I work at an aquarium putting on shows with the other mare and also do private events to make some extra money. My friend's niece has a birthday coming up. She's turning 7 and my friend thought I'd be the ideal entertainment for the party as kids love mermaids. Also her niece hasn't met me, so it won't break the immersion of her recognizing me. She recommended me to her brother and sister-in-law, and I met up with the 3 of them to go over what they wanted for the performance, how long it would last and my rates. I told them I would be willing to perform for 2 hours for 100, which shocked them as that would be 50 an hour. My friend asked me if I could cut a deal and I explained I already was. They were matching the salary of the aquarium with this and explained I actually charge 150 an hour for private events. They tried to negotiate me down, offering to pay 50 for the 2 hours, stating I'd have as much food and drink as I wanted at the party. Now after a performance I'm usually ravenous as I don't eat much before it for obvious reasons, but food on top of 50 isn't enough in my opinion. Not when I have to travel to get there and could have used this time to do an event at my normal rates. I told them that wouldn't work for me, and they have told me they'd need to think about it, clearly not keen on the idea. My friend is unhappy with me and asked if I could just take the 50 for her sake as her niece would love it, and said that as we're friends this should come before money. I honestly feel shit about this. I thought it was a good deal, and I hate upsetting my friend, but 50 for a 2-hour performance is ridiculous. Should I just take it and mark this down as a loss for the sake of my friendship? Now for the top comments. NTA, performing for kids is demanding, and there is no way you will have a chance to eat. Oh, believe me, I know. I much prefer the corporate events I'm hired for. However, the wonder on a kid's face is quite something. A child's wonder doesn't replace that their parents are cheap asses. You didn't take anything from this kid. Their parents just aren't willing to pay a very kindly discounted price, which is a great value that you already offered them. NTA, you are already cutting 2/3 off your price. What more do they want? Your blood? Maybe my voice? /s.